Excellent. Okay. My name is Kunal, and I'm Senior Vice President of Product Management at a company called Qualys. Today, I'm going to talk about the cloud security and especially the new trend, which is the code to cloud. How we help you find the risk in your runtime cloud and containerized environment, and how you can map it back to your code, which is creating the issues. So today, I'm going to talk through how the organizations are building the Cloud Risk Operations Center with our product called Total Cloud, and how the developers are leveraging this product line to help fix the issues faster. But before we do that, a quick introduction of the Qualys. Who is Qualys? I'm sure all of you know Qualys for vulnerability management. The company existed since '99. We are securing more than 10,000 clients worldwide. It's a #1 ranked when it comes to the FedRAMP certification. It's a #1 solution on the planet. And we got a 99.4% coverage for your CISA vulnerabilities that you want to fix it. We do have a built-in remediation solution, which you can use it for patching your workload on the cloud, on-prem, containerized environment, wherever you want. Believe it or not, but last year alone, we had deployed more than 110 million patches in a customer's production environment. And with our cloud attack surface management product line, which is part of our Total Cloud product, organizations are discovering more than 25% of the assets which they did not know. Given the ephemeral nature, dynamic nature in the cloud and containerized environment, the assets comes and goes very, very fast. So we have customers who are using our solution. They discover on an average 25% or more unknown assets that they didn't know. This is the reality. Now, if you look at when it comes to the risk prioritization in a cloud world, there are generally the 3 different personas or 3 different teams that we talk about. The one is the Cloud Risk Operations Center team, the security team, which is always looking at securing your runtime environment. Now, with the ever-evolving attack surface, the machines which are coming and going very, very fast in the cloud environment, they are always challenged. Whereas on the other hand, there is a compliance team that is always looking for compliance for your cloud environment, containerized environment. They are always behind the security operations team to make sure that everything that they do is compliant. And there is a third persona, a developer, who is wearing a jeans and t-shirt, and they are challenged to build and ship the software very, very fast. However, the security team is putting so much guardrail on them with the security policies, and that delays further deploying some of the new innovative capabilities, right? So these are the 3 different personas. Now, on the other hand, the attackers are always one step ahead. In this year itself, our threat research unit team, we looked at our customers' data in the backend, we anonymized all the data, and we saw that around 47% of the AWS resources, believe it or not, but misconfigured. Misconfiguration remains one of the top key challenge. Attackers are always smart. They are figuring out popular container images, and they are ingesting the malicious code. So now when you take the container image from some of the public registry, it is already has a malicious packages and other things that is ingested by the attackers, right? So the one end, the attackers are one step ahead, and you are constantly challenged with the different type of a security challenge in the cloud environment. Now this is where we have introduced a product called Total Cloud, which is Qualys' CNAPP solution, Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. It's a fully integrated solution that includes your CSPM, where you can discover and build the inventory of all of your multi-cloud, and then you can do the control assessment, make sure that they are all compliant. You could write the ISC template so that every time the new cloud workload is created, they are always compliant. And I'm going to show you, Shrikant will show in the demo, that how we help you mapping the attack path with the code to cloud and other thing. Second is about finding your identities, the KIM. You want to identify and build the inventory of all of your cloud IAM and roles and users, and you want to understand that which one has the higher privilege, which one has a misconfigured privileges, right? So you want to identify all of that. The third one, which is where we have always been the leader, which is the workload protection. Whether you have a workload on your on-prem, cloud, multi-cloud, or containerized environment, when it comes to protecting the workload with the vulnerability scanning, I think there is one company on the planet that knows vulnerability management more than anybody else. So our product is industry-leading vulnerability scanning. The fourth one is about the container security, where you want to monitor your container security pipeline end-to-end. As developers are building the images, then you have an image registry, and then you have a runtime environment where your containers are carrying the workload. You want to secure entire pipeline from end to end, and that's our container security. Also, you want to do the runtime threat detection for your cloud workload, and we have a product called CDR, Container Cloud Detection and Response, where with a machine learning and AI, we are detecting all of your threats, malicious behavior, crypto miner, and whatnot. And also, we do have a cloud workflow automation tool. That tool helps customers in creating the SOAR playbook to remediate some of the misconfiguration issues on the shiplap side, or implement some of the remediation workflow on the right-hand side, and which we are going to show you in a minute. The first one, as a part of building your risk operations center, the CSPM, Cloud Security Posture Management, remains the key component. And your compliance team is always looking for you to be audit ready when it comes to the cloud environment. So we got a 40+ global framework. You want to do the GDPR, HIPAA, PCI, NIST compliance for your cloud resources, we got it. We have an attack path where you can visualize the relationship between the different resources. You can see the exposure chain. You can see that how an attacker could reach particular EC2 instance or your load via load balancer and other thing, which we'll show in a demo. Also, I'm pretty sure that your development team these days is now involving a lot of things related to the AI. So you want to make sure as a security team that you are discovering those AI services, AI packages, AI software that are running in your environment, and we do support that with our AI security. And your cloud security architecture team, I'm sure they have built some of the Terraform template, cloud formation template, to make sure that every time you create a new workload in your cloud and containerized environment, it's always compliant. So we help you scan all of your ISC templates so that you are always having a compliant workload that is running in your production environment. And by the way, you want to take all of your misconfiguration findings to ServiceNow configuration compliance module. We do have integration with a ServiceNow, Jira ticketing, and all of that. Another one, which is where our strength is, and that's where the Qualys heritage is, about the vulnerability scanning, your workload scanning. When it comes to workload scanning, there is never a one-size-fits-all. You always want to deploy agent on some of the long-running workload. For some of the ephemeral workload, the workloads where you do not have access to, that you acquired through merger and acquisition, you may want to do the agentless snapshot-based scanning. All of those methods are supported, including support for the Bottle Rocket and AWS Linux, or scanning your AWS AMI image. We got 100% coverage when it comes to protecting and scanning your workload in all the 4 cloud platforms, including the containerized environment, ECS, Fargate, you name it, we got it. And by the way, all of your vulnerabilities, if you are centralizing in a ServiceNow VR vulnerability response module for the holistic view of all of the vulnerabilities from the remediation perspective, we do have integration with a ServiceNow VR module. Kubernetes and container security, everybody talks about shiplap. So we built this slide which is going to shiplap as you see the animation. But the first thing is about monitoring your runtime environment, your Kubernetes workload environment. So if you have deployed your containers in the EKS, ECS, Fargate, all serverless environment, we have a sensor that you deploy in your AWS environment, and it's going to start monitoring runtime activity, such as a file integrity monitoring, your EDR type of behavior, anomalous behavior, suspicious behavior. All of those are monitored, and it's going to help you with the PCI 4.0 compliance, because now PCI 4.0 mandates that you have to take the compliance for your containerized environment as well. As you shiplap, when the developers are building the container images, then those container images are in your somewhere in your repository. And we do support a 20+ registry scanning for the vulnerabilities, zero-day malware, secret detection. Not only that, but the security team can write the policy to block any of the images that has any vulnerabilities or a zero-day or a malware or a particular CISA, KEV or anything that you want to make sure that it doesn't run in your production environment. With our Kubernetes admission controller, you could write those zero trust policy. Finally, the shifting left, as developers are building the container images, we do have integrations with our CI/CD scanning pipeline and all of that. So it's a fully end-to-end coverage for your containerized environment. CDR, which is about monitoring your runtime environment. So we do look into your VPC flow log. You could mirror your VPC traffic to our appliance, and then we can monitor all of your EC2 instances in your multi-cloud environment for the runtime threat detection. We do have a machine learning and AI-based detection for your zero-day malware as well. This is very, very important part, which is the workflow automation tool, where you can drag and drop and build some of the playbook to spin up the remediation workflow when you see the risk in your environment. This requires almost a zero coding experience. With our cloud workflow automation, we have a 200 plus remediation playbook for your AWS ready. So now you can pick one of those and edit it, or you could build a new with a drag and drop editor to build any customized workflow for your environment. Now when it comes to the risk management, there is no one size fit all. Right? Sometimes you want to look at overall risk score. Sometimes you want to correlate the multiple risk signals. Sometimes you want to monitor the attack path and see that how the assets are exposed. What is the exposure chain, right? So we got all the three. Especially we do support the attack path analysis, where you can see the relationship between your cloud resources, how they are connected with each other, and what is the blast radius. If the attacker is going to reach to your EC2 instance, then from there, what is the blast radius where they can reach further, infiltrate in your environment. So we give you end-to-end attack path view, which gives you the risk view, and based on that you can figure it out whether you need to fix something in your route table, load balancer, or misconfigured security group. So now you can pinpoint where the issue is by looking into the visual thing. Now here is an example of one of our large financial institution customer. They have been scanning a 2 million workload in a 1 month. That's the scale we are looking at. And with our VMDR, vulnerability scanning and all, we are able to find a 500,000 risky exposure. But when we apply the real-time threat indicator and other additional context, what truly matters is the 30,000 vulnerability only. And when we connect those vulnerabilities with a misconfiguration, with a threat intel and the internet exposure, what finally mattered to them is approximate 300 finding. So now if you look at this Martini glass view, you had a 500,000 risky exposure. If you assume you have to fix everything and everything takes a $1 to fix it, you are looking at a $500,000 to fix it, versus only focusing on a 300 real-time risk that matters most to you. This is how, with a Martini glass view, we are able to help you figure it out what actually matters to you, what you should be fixing it. As I mentioned, we have a deeper integrations with a ServiceNow, whether it's for a vulnerability management or taking the configuration compliance or your container scanning data. We got everything covered with all of this that you can take it to your ServiceNow. So if your IT team has centralized on a ServiceNow, we can take all of the findings and you can put it in a ServiceNow VR module as well. And finally, it's not only about the risk management. Risk management also includes how are you going to remediate the risk. For some of your workload, long-running workload, you want to deploy the patch. Or where you cannot deploy the patch, you want to apply the mitigation control. So we got the mitigation control. And if you cannot even do the mitigation control, then you can isolate the machine or isolate a particular suspicious application that is running on that machine. So we support a different type of a risk prevention and risk mitigation for your environment as well. Finally, we do have a thought leadership website. This is completely community-driven website called Cloud Vulnerability Scanner. We do not post our product data there. This is all done by the threat research community and the community of the user who are contributing on this website. You can find some of the best practices and other findings. Other customers like-minded customers like you are talking about the latest and greatest trends there. We are continuously innovating, and as I said, like code to cloud is the key thing. So you have a runtime environment with your container, serverless, your applications, your resources. So we are monitoring that. And then on the left side, we scan your Terraform template, your GitHub and other things. And as a part of your CI/CD pipeline, we are scanning everything, as you can see today. Now what we are doing is, we are now mapping those findings. As you can see on the right-hand side, if the EC2 instance has a vulnerability or a misconfiguration, we are now mapping that all the way to the developer, the user who checked in the code that has introduced this vulnerability in your environment. So now you can monitor your runtime risk and give it back to the developer whose code has introduced this vulnerability in your environment. Last, before I give it to Shrikant for the demo, so I'm not the only one who is bragging about our solution. Here is the one that is the independent survey done by the Kuppinger Cole, where Qualys is a leader in the CSPM. The Gartner review for the CNAP, where we are the strong performer. And you see the GigaOM for the cloud workload protection. That's again where we are the leader. So we have all of these independent analyst firms rating given to us. With that, I will hand it over to Shrikant for the demo of all of that we just discussed.
Are you able to hear me well? Yeah, thanks Kunal, and I'm going to give a demo regarding code to cloud topic that we have seen just now. It's a journey for people in jeans and t-shirts, but at the same time, you also need to understand the people who are in black hat, those are the security teams who are sitting out here, those are also important. Now, as a part of my demo, what we are going to talk about is total cloud product, how that total cloud product can help you understand what challenges you have on the right side, what is the risk you have on the right side, and how you can actually correlate those risks on the left side as well for developers to understand. So what happens a lot of times, you're scanning your environment, but you don't know what risk I'm supposed to really address. You have indicators coming from a variety of tools. You may have multiple tools in a platform or multiple vendors you're actually processing the data. You have vulnerabilities coming in, you have misconfigurations, you have threats. But how about correlation of that data? Who is doing that correlation for you? If there is a single vendor who is giving a correlation of data coming from multiple vendors, it will make your life very easy. But as a part of Qualys now, we actually help you to get all the indicators together as a part of single dashboard. You see this TruRisk Insights. It's a toxic combination. It's a combination of multiple indicators coming from configuration assessment, vulnerability assessment, threats and whatnot, even permission assessment as well. So these correlation activities we are doing out of the box for you guys, and we are actually helping you to prioritize your risk well. Beyond this correlation, you have a single prioritized view of findings for you to process. You don't really need to jump on every finding and fix it, but these correlated findings will matter the most. We help you to see those findings, visualize those findings. That makes your life very easy. You click on it, you'll understand how those findings are correlated, what contributing factors we have on those findings, which cloud providers are involved here. You can actually drill down, you can go deep dive and understand, okay, this particular instance in AWS has an attack path as well. If you have a quick look at the attack path, we showcase you information of how that particular instance is exposed, what all resources are coming in between, and then what that instance can do once it is exposed. It has one IAM role, which is critical role attached to that particular instance, and that can actually go to S3 bucket or RDS. This makes your life very easy now. You know that this instance is at very significant risk, and you need to understand what all other findings we have. Now, as a developer or as a security engineer, you need to understand how we correlate those findings and how we actually map it back to your tools like ServiceNow or Jira for that matter. So we have integration with ServiceNow configuration compliance, ServiceNow vulnerability response, container vulnerability response, and we send those findings to your own tool sets. You can actually process those findings very easily. Beyond that, we saw Qualys Flow application, which is a low-code workflow product. You can fix those findings real quick by clicking on that one check saying, okay, we have a workflow, you onboard the workflow and then start remediation journey within one single click. Now, all of these activities that we have seen so far is really helping all our customers to simplify their cloud adoption journey. Get onboarded with Qualys platform in just three clicks, 6-7 minutes. You know the visibility. You know what findings do we have. Now I'm going to talk about code to cloud, which is important topic, which is the most important area which currently people are struggling today. So you fix something on the right. What if the code is actually published again later on? Whatever fixes you made on the right are getting overridden, right? So you need to actually engage your developers in the security journey right away, saying, okay, I found some vulnerabilities, I found some misconfigurations on the right. I should actually fix at source, that is the code. So I'm going to quickly show you the demo on how we actually correlate those findings now. We have the same attack path that we saw in a demo a couple of minutes ago. And we are going to correlate those in the GitHub repository. We have a code. Chris is the developer who changed the code main.terraform file. And then we are showcasing the Terraform file has a risk score. And then we are helping you to remediate those findings with few clicks. Like you can raise Jira ticket. We will send all the Jira, all the important findings to Jira. We will even attach this particular graph that we see here in the Jira ticket. So developers can see these findings in the Jira itself. Developers do not need to log into any platform, but in Jira they can see all these findings, right? So it makes developers' life very easy, and then developers can get involved in the security journey right away. We even go beyond. We are actually creating a pull request for your developers. They can raise PR request in GitHub, and then they can start fixing those findings right away. So it's very simple. So we now started engaging your developers so that they know about security aspects pretty well, and they can actually start secure coding as a part of the journey. Now, this is one demo that we have. If you want to know more, we have a booth a couple of blocks away. You can actually come there. And then we also help you with something called TruRisk Insights report. And that report can actually help you understand what kind of findings I have in my platform. So we have some sample TruRisk Insights reports which are helping you in your executive reporting. But if you want any such report in your platform, customized report for your own platform, please scan this QR code or visit our booth, which is a couple of blocks away. We will actually help you with getting a customized TruRisk Insights report for you.